along with doing the foot series, I'll be working a little bit with other exercises, some classical, some contemporary. Today we're going to look at the 100 and arm circles before the 100. I'm again going to let Justin go into just doing the arm circles, how he works in his own way or what he's learned over the years. And then I'm going to make some different little changes again to the apparatus and his motion. All right. Go ahead and start for me, Justin. Now, what he's doing is not wrong, first of all. I don't want you to think I'm sitting here saying things are right or wrong. I'm just looking at different ways that I can affect his body for what he's got going on. A lot of times I have people coming in with sore necks, shoulder problems, different things like that. And I know that these types of exercises are great for him to straighten out those problems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change a few of the things and make them so they're a little bit more spot perfect for the injury of the person or whatever they have going on or what I'm trying to even strengthen. All right? So go ahead and come up into 100 also. And you pounce the hands or you leave them? And great, come on down. Perfect. So those all look pretty clean, to be honest with you. There's a few little changes. Again, I don't like his head position. All right. The reason I don't like his head position is the fact that his head is an extension. So if his head's an extension, lift your head up. There you go, set it on down. Scoot down for me just a little bit so your shoulders aren't touching. Good. So if his head's an extension, any kind of work he's going to do is going to overemphasize the trapezius because that's what it does. It extends the neck. The other thing I like to do is I like to lower him down so I can see that his shoulders aren't touching the pads. So now I can decide if he's got shoulder stability or if he's allowing the machine to actually stabilize his shoulders. The other thing is I like to lighten it up. Now he had 2 springs on. I'm going to move him down to 1 spring. And we are going to switch to the medium spring because what I'm looking for is more core control and core stability. This is not a great angle to get arm strength. So we're going to change it back to the core and work with the shoulder. All right, so we're going to have him put his hands on him. We're going to go into a nice tabletop position. So the first thing I want him to do is I want him to find where his shoulders are at 90 degrees. Understanding about glenohumeral rhythm understands that I can maintain stability of the shoulder when the arms are at 90. He's going to pull his arms on down to his hips, slow and controlled. Now it's a lot lighter. But notice that his shoulders, when he pulls down, he wants to touch the table, his shoulders want to roll forward. So he's going to come back up, stop over the 90 degrees or right at 90 degrees. And then he's going to pull down and you want him to stop at the hip. Right there. Right there, nothing's moving in his shoulder and I can see that. So come back up for me. And back down. Slow and controlled. Good. Inhaling up. And exhaling and pulling down just to those hips. We'll do one more. And pull. Now he's going to reach out to the side. And I want to keep his hands at eye level. So you can see his peripheral vision looking at both hands. Or I should say, he can see his hands in his peripheral vision. Pull on down to his hips. Reach back out wide. Just reaching. And pull. Now when you do that, I don't want your back to arch. Do you feel how you arch there a little bit? Mm-hmm. Maintain and pull. So now I'm getting a great isolation just on the scapula itself. Awesome. Out and pull. Now this is a lot of core work because he has to hold his legs. Reach out. A lot of times what they do is people try to pull to get their strength into the cords. Hands up in front. A little bit higher. Let your shoulders relax. Good, right there. Now pull down and extend the feet. So you're going to pull down and I want you to lengthen the feet. Now we're going to keep them parallel to start with. I'm going to make sure that the toes do not point in. I don't want to see any toes touching. Nice and parallel. Come up, bring the knees in. So bring the arms up. No. Head down. Good. I never want to roll the head up with the arms down. It's going to put all the tension in the neck. So he's going to pull down and lengthen the legs to me. Not rolling up yet. Just lengthen. Open up the feet so there's a parallel. Good. Come back up. Bring in. Now, pull down and lengthen. Same thing. Parallel. This parallel is working a little bit more of the hip flexor, but it's starting to get him the motion that we're looking for. Come on down. Before I do 100 with anybody, I have them pull down and lengthen the legs and then put the heels together. Now you see where his hands are? I'm going to have him bring his hands up about mid-thigh, come up a little higher. And squeeze the heels and lengthen the toes. The squeezing of the heels will turn on the pelvic floor a little bit more. I don't want them squeezing the knees. I want them squeezing the distal part of the heels. And that makes a big difference in the abdominals. And already you can start to see him shiver and quake. That's because the whole time we've been working the core. All right, and I'm actually assisting. I'm going to take my hands away for a second, and you can feel just that little difference that I had with holding and assisting. Come on up. So that was one. I'm going to let him sit for a second. Put his hands out to the side. I'm going to have him twist side to side to stretch the back, and come back up. Now, that was more about core stability. Go ahead and turn. And when I say core stability, I'm talking about stabilizing the lower spine with everything else moving. So he held a neutral spine, a neutral position, as his legs pulled against his torso, or his arms in the same fact with the ropes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to articulate up into the 100. Go ahead and come on up. All right. Hands on up. Feet on up. All right, we're going to stay with the parallel, all right? I want you to start to pull your hands down. Once they reach the chest, you're going to start to nod, look through your hands, and reach long, all one coordination. Come back down. Now this is much lighter than what he had before, so it's actually harder to control. All right, so the first thing is the hands up a little bit. Hold on, come back up. The hands start to roll down. Now the head comes up, the feet lengthen out, heels together, toes apart, bring your hands mid-thigh. Much harder on the abdominals. He doesn't even have to pump his hands. Just squeezing in that position, you can see the difference of the effect on the abdominals. Roll back down. Let's get in that position again, all right? So the hands start, nod the head, roll and extend. Now, I'd still work a lot on his neck, all right, because he's still arcing his neck a little bit. I want to make sure that he's in a nice curve. Let your head rest back into my arm. Drop the chin just a little bit. Look at your toes. Right there is what I'm looking for. Right there is a great position for him to feel his abdominals. No need to pounce the hands. Until he can hold this for about 50 seconds, I don't even going in to the bouncing of the hands. And this is really good because I can see that he's really straining a lot. And then come on down. And sit down. Just another way where you don't have to use this spring.